Okay. We want to continue on, but today we're going to start out talking about a particular sentence, and we want to make sure that when we read in the Arabiyya, when we read in the Quran, we want to know what type of sentences we want to be reading. We know we have nominal sentence, we have interrogative type sentence that maybe asks a question, but this is a particular type of sentence that I have up here now on the board here. And what we want to do, we want to read it in Arabic, and we're going to go in there and look at this particular sentence, and we're going to dissect it, you know, and we're going to determine how the sentence, what state it is. Well, actually, not what state it is. I don't want to really concentrate on the case, you know, like we're talking about Raf, Jar, and Nafs, okay? But this is another type of sentence as well. So we want to read this sentence, look at it, and then we're going to discuss, and I'm going to go into discussion as to what type of sentences it is. And we're going to talk about the parts of it. So, make sure we got that. So how do we read this statement up here, this sentence? And it's directly from the Quran. And I trust that I have all my vowels up there. But how do we read this sentence? What do we have first? We got what? Ya, right? And then we have what? Look at, we have the letter Ya, and we have, look what we have over it. We have the fatha right here, right? We have a dagger alif, and then we have what we call the ma, which means what? To elongate that sound, right? You have to elongate it. Ma means that we have to elongate that vowel, sometimes 4, 5, 6 counts out. So we have the word what? Ya, see? And then we look at the next letter here. We have an alif, right? And what we have over the alif, we have hamza, fatha, right? Okay? And we know hamza meaning that that letter, we give it a what kind of sound? An abrupt sound, like a chop sound. You cut up, it doesn't give it full sound, right? Ya, like that. Ya, what? Then what is the next letter? Can you see it? Can everybody see this? Do I need to make it bigger or whatever?
No, that's clear.
Okay. Okay.
يا أيها.
See? Ya, the A Y. You got two Y, two yards, I should say, right? And then Ayyuhal, ha, see?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what is the next word?
الذين.
Allazina. Allazina. And what we got here? This is what we said we are, right?
آمنوا.
Amanu. Okay? Look here. This is 2 A's. Look. We pronounce this hamza with as an A, and then we had another alif right here, right? So we said okay? Amanu. See it? We got it? Okay? I want to stick with me now because this is very important what we're going to talk about. There's another part of this sentence already written up here that I want to emphasize on, okay? So we got what? Ya ayyuhal, what? Ya ayyuhal, what? Alladina, amanu.
آمنوا.
Right. And then what we have, what? In, what?
تنصروا.
Tansur. Okay? And then what we have?
الله.
Allah. And then we have what?
ينصركم.
Right? And then we have what?
ويثبت.
T-H-A, 2 B's, 2 bars. Tab, get the first B? Bit. Tab, bit. Okay? And then we have what?
أقدامكم.
Aqwadamakum. Okay? Now, is there any words up here that we recognize automatically? Do you know the meaning of?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now that we read that sentence, let's dissect it. Let's look at the meaning of the words up here. So we got what? Ya ayyuhal. So what do that mean? Ya mean what? Is a word that means oh. Meaning it begs for our attention. Oh you who what? Oh you. Okay. What? Alladina.
Who they are?
Who they are, right. And these who they are talking about are what? Who believe. Amanu. Notice that we have the wa and the alif over here, so that's automatically mean that's what? Plural.
Plural.
More than one, right? More than two. It's not dual. It's 3, 4, 5, however many it might be, right? But we're talking about the massive here. We talk about nations and mankind, whoever, okay? And then we have the word right here. This is what I want to focus on right here is from here. Let me do this here. This section of the sentence right here, make this sentence is what we call a conditional sentence. What is a conditional sentence? Conditional sentence. A conditional sentence said, if you do this,
You get that.
you get this. See? You might get a reward, or there is some consequence, right? For example, like we know we must pray, right? We try to pray 5 times a day. It is said that if we don't pray, we can't call ourselves Muslim. We might have a Muslim name, we might come from a Muslim country, etc., government, or whatever it might be. But if you don't pray, a lot of scholars say you are not Muslim. See? So it goes more to just having a name. There are some things that Allah said, if you do this, then you will get this. See? So this is the conditional sentence. What makes it conditional sentence is this portion of the phrase right here. Because this word right here means what? If. If. See? This portion right here, if you help Allah, He will help you. See? Isn't that a condition? If you help Allah, then there's a consequences by helping Allah. If you help Allah, then He will help you. Then what is helping Allah for what? What people might think that we helping Allah for if we help Allah? How can we help Allah? Worship, whatever. Helping His cause, helping the deen, right? If we help this deen, if we can help it by what? Propagating it, right? Dawah, etc. Doing those things. When people ask us, the Christians or anybody else asks us about our religion, is being what? Having the knowledge, the information in our mind so we can give them the correct information. Because a lot of misconception out there about what we really believe. A lot of them think we believe in Muhammad, but we don't believe, we believe him as a messenger, right? That he's the last messenger, but we don't praise him. You'd be surprised how many Christians out there think and want to call us Muhammadans. See? But we're not Muhammadans. See? We're Muslims. So we're Muslims. So this phrase right here, make this sentence a conditional sentence because it has an if in there. If you do this, you will get that. You can also call it a consequential sentence too, because meaning that there's consequences of doing some things, and there are also consequences of what? Not doing some things, right? And the reason I say that is because Allah created the whole universe, what we call the duality. The duality, listen to that word, duality. Dual meaning what? Two, right? But I'm saying duality. So Allah created things what we call the duality of nature. Duality of nature. Meaning that for everything I can think of, there's an opposite. If I were to say hot, you're going to say what? Cold. If I say high, you're going to say low. If I say what? If I say, give me another example.
Big, small.
Big, small.
Fat, skinny.
Fast, slow. It has an opposite. With everything you just about can think of, in fact, everything has an opposite. So that's what they mean when you hear people say the duality of nature, meaning there's two things that we consider. How can I know what hot is if I've never been exposed to cold? How can I know what fast is if I don't know what slow is? So I have to have these concepts in my mind. So Allah says He created the whole universe on the duality of nature, but on Allah is one. That's why we can't have no equal with Allah. But we can think of an equal with just about everything else we see. And out of all the trillions and billions of snowflakes that fall on the earth, not only in this part of the country, but every other part of the country, there's no two is exactly alike. Just like we, as a human being, no one had the same fingerprints. So Allah said He can recreate us when we die and bring us back to life. A lot of people say, well, how can Allah restore the dry bones, and et cetera, you know. But Allah said He can recreate man even down to his fingertips, you know, to his fingerprints. Okay. So, this is one thing I want you to remember. If you don't remember anything yesterday, is that a conditional sentence begins with if. If. So here it is right here. If, meaning if you do this, you will get that. If we don't remember anything else, there's a condition here. And these sentences are all throughout the Quran. If you do this, you will get that. Okay? So it begins with that. Now, a conditional sentence has two parts. The first part is this word right here. How do we pronounce this? S-H-A-R-T. Short, right? This would be, that would be the pronunciation, and that would be the phonetic. So a conditional sentence have what we call two parts. The first part of it, we'll say it is short, okay? Which imposes a condition. So what would be the short of this sentence right here? What would be the short of this sentence?
In tansuru.
Right. So that means what? If you help Allah, see? If you help Allah.
But brother, the tansuru is not help, because help is tusa'idu. But tansuru, I guess, has a different meaning.
Yes, I know that. If you help, this is here, if you help Allah right here.
So tansuru is not come from the victory,
right.
The victoriness?
No. Like for example, we have.
I know how they translate it on the translation.
The word Nasara.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which meaning what? He helped. Right? So this is where this comes from right here. So here with the ta prefix, brother, what I was talking about before, the ta, gives it a different meaning. So that means you. The ta means you, right? It's a prefix. So it means if you help Allah. Okay? Now the word, like you was talking about, Nas, a lot of times people translate this as victory, but we also helping too. So it comes from the word help. Okay?
Because they used to this area all the time in the time of the wars. So they telling people, hey, if you give you a force to the war, which is the sake of God, that's why he say in tansurullah.
Exactly.
So you are not helping Allah because Allah he don't need no help.
Exactly.
They say if you help in the sake of Allah, to help to get the word of Allah, okay, He will get you victory too.
Exactly.
So the victory gonna come off Allah if you start doing what He is supposed to.
Exactly.
Tell you to do. Yeah.
You better go ahead.
Yeah. So I guess this is the meaning. And what surah is this?
This is Surah 47, verse 7. If you want to look it up there, we'll look it up. 47, verse 7. Okay? Now, so now the other part of the sentence, is what we call the jawab. This, if you spelled it out, we have J-A-W-A-A-B. Right here. This will be the second part of the conditional sentence. Okay? So the first part, we said this imposes a condition. Okay? And the second part, we said, is He will help you. He will help you would be the second part of this conditional sentence, meaning that is the part we call the jawab. Jawab. Okay? Because this second part is the fulfillment of the first condition. The second part is the fulfillment of the second condition. Okay? Now, let's look at this. Now, as Brother Tarek was just saying, you know, like fighting the cause of Allah, you know, he would give us victory. This is what this statement is really talking about too, because there were people who were sent out to fight, you know, to help Allah, helping the cause of spreading the deen itself. And when we said deen, we were talking about, in English, the word is, what would be the corresponding word? Religion, right? Would it be religion?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Now, look at this word right here. Let me do this. This word right here, thabit. Notice that doesn't have a vowel. I just wrote the sukoon over it. It's understood. I didn't have to write it, but it's understood that it have a sukoon on it anyhow, right? Reason this doesn't have a vowel is because this is the conclusion of the conditional sentence. Okay? And look at the last word up here. What is this word?
أقدامكم.
Right? Aqdamakum. I'm sorry. Kum. Right? This meaning feet. This word right here, thabit, meaning to establish, to be firm. When I looked up in the Arabic dictionary.
Steady or firm.
Let's see what I got here. Oh yeah, to be firm or to be fixed. To be fixed. Right. Okay. This word right here, okay, meaning like if you stand firm against your enemy, like the brother was alluding to earlier, in fighting. So this meaning that if we're going to be standing firm, meaning that we're ready to fight, we have positioned ourselves in a position. Who was doing one of the battles? I forgot who was. I can't call the brother's name now, but they actually tied their legs together. They with some rope, so they wouldn't get up and run. Just in case they even thought about it, they were tied together so they couldn't run. You know, so it needed to be firmly fixed. There's a gospel song out. The Christian really love a particular gospel song out, not by a group by the name of the Winans, where he said in that song, he said, you know, stand up, it's called Stand. Really, that's the name of the title of the song, called Stand. And where he says, stand up and square your feet. He said in the song, he says, square your feet, you know, meaning that you're going to stand up, you're going to be firm. Square your shoulders, he says, square your shoulders. So that meaning that you are standing firm in what you're doing. You know, you're committed to what you're doing. So, as we said earlier, if what a condition does, it states a condition, right? Conditional sentence. And it starts out, a lot of times that part of it might be started with the word what? If. Right? We call this, first part, we call it what? What is the first part we call it? Part of the condition sentence? Say it again. Right. And then we said if you fulfill, the fulfillment of that condition is called what? Yes. Jawab. Okay? Right. Now, as Brother Tarek told us how the Egyptians pronounced the letter G, so we said Jawab, you would say Gah, right? Gawab.
Yeah, we can say Gawab.
Gawab.
We say Gawab short and Gawab short.
Okay?
Yes.
Right. Okay? But we so in the habit of, we see a J, and we associate that with G, and we tend to say, pronounce it with a J sound.
Yeah, Arabic have the G exactly like the Egyptian, like the English G, like in golf. You cannot say golf, it's golf, geth. So we have the same thing in Arabic. We use the same letters.
Same letters? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now, why did I say this was vowels? Where it is? Right here. Notice here, the last letter on here has a T, right? And I just put sukoon over. I didn't have to put the sukoon there, but why is it vowels? What did I say it was vowels?
What do you say, what?
Why did I say this verb right here, this verb
Yeah.
is vowels? Because what? What did I say? Anybody remember what I said earlier? Huh? Because it's a conclusion. This verb right here is a conclusion of a conditional clause. Is the conclusion of a conditional clause. So this is a verb right here. Okay? And what do that verb mean? We say what?
يثبت. Make it firm.
Make it firm. Be fixed. Like if you're building a house, you don't want to build a house on some shoddy material that's not going to be firm, that's not going to hold up for a period of time, right? Because then a strong wind might come along and blow it down, right? So you want to make sure it's strong. Whatever foundation you give it, you're going to make sure you have a strong foundation. Because if you got a weak foundation, if it's not firm, it's weak, right? It's going to fall. Okay? Now, what we want to do is to go into the Quran itself and look at some of these conditional sentences. Everybody got a Quran today?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to give you some other words though. Look at these words here before we get into the Quran. These are some of the, in Arabic, some of the common words that start out conditional sentences. Right? So we got the word here is what? The first one is what we call what? How we pronounce this?
In.
In. See? When we say how we pronounce it, let us all try to say it, you know. So we see the letters, we see the vowels, and, you know, so let us make an effort. Even if you are wrong, that's what we're here for, to try to help each other out, to correct one another, right? So it don't make no difference if we're wrong. This is what the class is all about, okay? So then we have the next word is what? Okay? And let me say that if you spelled it out phonetically, when I said phonetically in English, how would you spell this out here? If you had to spell this for someone, let's say one of the students in your class who don't know Arabic or whatever, and you said, and he said, well, how do you spell it? How would you spell this out in English for that person?
L-A.
Yeah, because you see it up here, look, it's up there. L-A-W, yes. So you have what? Right. Okay, here we would have what? See? And here we have what? Iza. See? Yes. See? So you have Iza here. You might, something like that, I guess. Iza. Okay? Let's go, let's see, let's look at chapter. Let's look at some other words here too. Let me give you a few other ones here. So we're going to look at in the Quran, we're going to see some of these words. They're going to let us know that this is a conditional sentence. If we see these three right here, we know that it's what? A conditional sentence. There's a conditional phrase. There are some other Arabic words too, such as this is mean, okay? We also have okay? And you might want to write these down so you can, when we look in the Quran, because I might have to erase some of this area, you know. And then we have okay. Whenever, wherever, okay? Let's look at some of those. let's turn to the Quran. Let's look at we did 47:7. That's that one there. 24, chapter 24, verse 54.
The 24:54?
Right, 24:54. Now, what I have here on this paper, I don't have the whole verse. I just have this little snippet, this little section, what I want to point out. So it should start out with in. I want to find the part where it says, if you obey him, talking about the messenger, you will be guided. 24, chapter 24, verse 54.
It's a long area, so which part?
Okay, I want to find out the part where it's got. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay, here we go. No, I'm sorry. Okay. Start out with this portion right here.
So this is chapter 24, Surah Al-Nur, or I'm wrong?
Chapter 24, verse 54. According to here, sometimes it might be an error in my paperwork here, but
Because chapter 24, Surah Al-Nur and Ayah 54.
no, chapter 24,
Okay,
24, 54,
okay,
2454.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I found it.
You found it? Okay.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول فإن تولوا فإنما عليه ما حمل وعليكم ما حملتم وإن تطيعوه
That's the portion right there.
تهتدوا
That's what I want. Just that phrase right there.
وإن تطيعوه تهتدوا.
Okay. Now, that phrase what he just read, meaning that if you obey him in this case here is talking about who?
Messenger.
The messenger. Okay. Now look what it said. Is that part of the sentence would be what we call the what? Sharp, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Short.
Okay, right. And then what would be the jawab?
تهتدوا.
Which means what? You will be guided, right?
You got it, yes.
Do everybody see that? That's what I want all us to get this part now. I don't want us to just be see if we do we get it?
You understand?
You understand?
No?
So what we're talking about is conditional sentence, right? Do you see it? Because the conditional sentence, once again, meaning that if you do this, you will get this in fulfillment of doing something. Okay? Does anyone here does not understand? Two parts of the sentence. First part is the
Short
right.
condition.
Okay, so what would be the condition here? What would be the condition here? What would be the short part of this statement here? We said something about doing something to the messenger.
So in is the if.
Obey the messenger.
That's it. That's it.
So
Good.
تطيعوه. تطيعوه.
Okay, so if you obey him, we talk about the messenger, right? Even though they didn't put his name here, they didn't say the Rasul, but due to the context of the sentence, we know that's what he's talking about. So if you obey him, the messenger, what would be the jawab here? What would be the jawab?
If you obey him, you shall be on the right guidance.
There you go. So you shall be on the right guidance according to your Quran would be what? The jawab, right? See?
So what the word in Arabic is?
So,
Mm-hmm.
تهتدوا.
Okay.
تهتدوا. تهتدوا وما على الرسول إلا البلاغ المبين وإن تطيعوه تهتدوا. We'll get a little more clear on this.
Okay, let's look at another one here. Okay. Let's look at chapter 11. Let's go to chapter 11. Right, Surah 11, verse 118.
118.
118. And where the sentence start out with, Wallahu. That's what we want to have right here. Wallahu. That person would get this Wallah Shay'a.
Verse
118.
118. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. You found it?
Chapter 11.
Yes, chapter 11, verse 118. Like I said, I don't have the whole complete verse, but I'm just concentrating on the part of that statement or that verse where we are talking about what conditional sentence part of it. Okay. So we. Okay. Okay. Okay, have you found it?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولو شاء ربك لجعل الناس أمة واحدة ولا يزالوا مختلفين. So you need the first part, which is ولو شاء.
That's right. That's right.
ولو شاء ربك.
Which meaning, if your Lord, something like this, my interpretation might be, if your Lord had wished, if
If you want.
right, if he had wished, okay,
He would make the whole people is just one nation.
right. So here, what would be the portion that start off with the if right here is this word, what we had right here, loud.
Loud.
See, loud. See it? Better see that? Okay.
Yeah, loud.
Okay? So that part would be the sharp, right? Yeah. And then what portion of that would be the jawab? Jawab.
ولا يزالون مختلفين.
That's right. He would have made us, or would have made humankind, or human beings, what? One nation. One nation. See that? So it's two parts of the sentence. That's what we're trying to emphasize in this whole lesson today is a conditional sentence. A conditional sentence. We need to notice when we're reading the Quran that, hey, I just read a conditional sentence. That if I do this, he used the reward for that. If we pray, if we do this, if we whatever it is might be, Allah said there's a reward. Now, the reward could be good if we're doing a good deed, or if we're doing something bad, it could be a bad punishment coming toward us or what have you. See, it's a conditional sentence. Conditional. Okay? It's just like while you're in school now. If you don't study hard, if you don't pass the test, what? You're going to get a failing grade, right? So when the teacher gives out homework, okay, we know we have to study this homework, right? If we don't study this, when we come to time to take the test, we're not going to be fully prepared to test. We might get failing grade. We get a failing grade. It's just like when you complete a course of study, high school, when you graduate, they say you have completed all the requirements for this, for them to confer that degree on you or to confer that diploma on you. You have completed the 12 grades of study, so now here is your diploma. Same thing in college, you completed all your coursework, so now here is your certificate, for graduation. They confer your bachelor's degree or whatever, because they say you have completed it, you have completed all the requirements. So since you have completed all the requirements, here is your reward, here are the results for you being diligent, studying, and everything else. Because we just can't sit back and think that because we enrolled in something, that they just gonna, because we enrolled, they're gonna automatically give it to us. No. They saying that you got to fulfill certain conditions. Hear that word? Conditions. Same thing with this sentence, conditional sentence. If you do this, you will get some reward. It might be good or bad. So let's look at another one here. Let's go to chapter 25, and I'll let the brother come up in a little bit. Okay, chapter 25, verse 63.
The 2563?
That's right. Where it start out, Wa'iza, excuse me.
2563.
$25, 63. We'll start out with what Isaiah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون
That's the part.
قالوا سلاما.
Okay, about to see that portion? Okay. What the part we looking for? And when the ignorant ones addressed them, they said peace. Is that what your Quran said? Look at that, brother, to find that portion in there.
We're at 63.
Yeah, chapter 25, verse 63.
Right, we're at 63.
Exactly. Look at that portion of that. You might look at your translation.
Yeah, but I was telling that.
And when the ignorant ones addressed them, they said peace. Did you see that in the write-up in the Quran, that's the translation?
When the ignorant talk to them,
That's it, right there.
themselves,
That's it.
saying salam,
Right,
leave us in peace.
right. I just want that particular phrase right there, okay? So here again, that is a conditional sentence right there, okay? I'm not gonna spend much time on that one. Let me give you another good one. Let's go to chapter 62. Chapter 62, verse 10. 62:10. We're looking for now Fa'iza.
Did you understand the last one? Did you read it?
Do you want to go back to the last one then?
Yeah, because he didn't catch it because he wasn't able to find it.
Okay.
Can you read it? وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون. وإذا if وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما. So what the condition of it? What the shart? Whatever comes after إذا. Because
Right.
إذا is one of those shart tools.
Right.
Condition tools. إن لو إذا. So whatever comes after إذا is the verb for the shart. So if of the ignorance spoke to them خاطبهم الجاهلون. جواب الشرط. The answer is they said salam. Okay, can you read it? خاطبهم الجاهلون.
Jahiluna. Okay.
قالوا
Salama.
مفيش قال سلاما. So that's meaning if somebody is ignorant and talk to them, they shall say peace. They don't
Right.
go in argument. That's teach you don't go to argument with
Exactly.
ignorant people. Because they will never be convincing.
Right,
The ignorant, they shall say peace. Why?
right. And your father saying it correctly too, you know, so when we find these type of people who want to argue with us, you know, don't argue with them, you know. Just say peace, salam, and keep going on, because they might be trying to start something, you know, really that.
Yeah. Because there is no argument in just the sake of argument. It's not going to get no benefit.
Now, you got it? Okay, so here again, if I was to ask you, what is the short part of it and what is the jawab? See, conditional sentence, right? 2. We gotta have, you know, these things in that conditional sentence. Something that imposing something, and then there's a fulfillment, the jawab of doing that, what been imposed upon us to do or not to do.
So basically, it's like cause and effect.
There you go. That's right. A cause and effect. Good, good, very good. A cause and effect. Right. Everybody see that? Okay, good. All right. Now, then let us look at the cause and effect, okay, for another verse, okay? Chapter 62:10. This is what we do on Friday, on the Jumu'ah, okay? But we want to start out with what it said, fa'iza, right, okay? Udiyati. Udiyati, okay? Udiyati silah 2. That's what we want to do. So we're saying, and when the salat is ended, let's look at that. Everybody got it so far? 62:10. And when the salat is ended, then what?
Preacher be screaming, screaming the man seat on the Lord's God.
Now, fa'iza, so meaning what? And, fa meaning and, or either so, right? We know that in Arabic, the word fa, F-A, meaning so. Okay, that's good. Go to the brother find it. You have it, Nadine? Do you have it? Okay. Okay, you got it? Okay,
Verse number 10. Okay?
okay.
So verse number is verse 10 before the number. And the first one, the number before the number comes after. So verse 10 is whatever comes before verse 10.
Right. And so we see here, we see the word fa'iza, right? Okay? We know we translate fa a lot of times as so, but it can also mean and, right? So look what it said, fa'iza. So iza means when, right?
Whenever.
Whenever, right? Okay? So that's a condition, right? Because we know that's one of our conditional words up here, okay? So what does it say? So, and when the salat is ended, then disperse in the land. What would be the cause, Nadine? What would be the cause and the effect here? What would be? What would be the sharp? What would be the jawab here? In this particular part of the sentence, the phrase right here. That's what this section of lesson is about today, is conditional sentence. We need to know these names and things like that. So when we're reading the Quran ourselves, when we come across, we say, okay, well, this is conditional sentence right here. Right? Is this something that's good information for us to know? How many people read the Quran and don't know that? See?
To me.
Right. Okay, so let's look at that particular verse again. So look what it's telling us. This is kind of like is this what we also call an imperative too? An imperative means what? Command also, right? So it's saying, and when the salat is ended, then disperse in the land. And I don't know what the rest of that sentence might be said, seek the bounties of Allah, something like that, you know. So that means then when the Jummah day comes, that we should put off all work, sport, and play, whatever it might be, and just take that little portion of time out of the day and attend the Jumu'ah. But as soon as the Jumu'ah is over with, we don't have to hang around and talk and rub shoulders and all this other stuff like that. It said disperse, get on, leave, go on back to out and do what you need to do. Go on back to the business, your commerce, whatever you engaged in. Go on and do it, because a lot of times we have to go back to work. Or some people might have to, if you're in college, you might have to go back to school, you know, but you did take that time off, you know, to do that, and then now you're going back. See? So it's an imperative, but it is a conditional sentence too. So we're telling us, you know, to attend the Jumu'ah, but at the same time, when the Jumu'ah ends, to disperse. Right? Because Friday is a business day, right? And so we go, even though it's our, as the Christian says, Sabbath, you know, our day of worship, but that means that Allah give us His mercy by telling us we don't have to, like the Christians do, they take maybe the whole day Sunday off. See? You know, but they don't worship the whole day, they just off that day. But Allah tells us to take that portion of the day off and then go. Now, there might be some hardship on us. Let me just say this too, because we might be so far away from the masjid, then we can, you know, whatever. But we need to try to find the time to attend the Jumu'ah or attend the nearest masjid near us. You know, that doesn't mean you have to come to the same masjid every Friday, but at least try to attend some masjid. Okay? All right. We probably continue a little bit of this next Sunday, but I'm going to let Brother Tarver come up now and give us what he has planned for us today also. Okay? So any other questions before we leave? So we want to, main thing we want to know that we talked about, what kind of sentence today? Conditional. We also know that a conditional sentence has how many parts? And what are these parts named?
Shart, jawab.
Okay, right. And we know, we learned some phrases that we know that starts out, let us know that this is a what? A conditional sentence, right? So we need to try to remember these. I'll probably give you one or two others maybe next Sunday, and then we'll go on to another topic. Okay?
So as soon as we see either, or we see لو, or we see in, or we see أينما, or we see لما, or من, كلما, if any one of those exists in the ayah or in the sentence, that's meaning you have a cause or a shart. Then after the shart finished, you're gonna find the answer or the jawab or the effect.
That's right. As the name said, the cause and effect. The cause, here's the cause, here's the effect from that cause. Okay? Right. Very good. Okay? Alhamdulillah.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.